King is often considered to be one of the most well-known Tekken characters. As a result of the visibility of King in official Tekken lore, there are plenty of known facts about the character of King, but the speculative scenario is this: was King's wrestling style the most dangerous in Tekken lore? King as a character was based off a variety of sources, mostly being thought of multiple Japanese wrestlers under the alias of Tiger Mask, on the Mexican man who wrestled to earn money to help orphans. Especially in King's early appearances in the Tekken games, King's techniques on displays of wrestling moves were somewhat influenced by the shoot style or Japanese-based wrestling techniques, which had its origins in the late 1970s all the way into the 1990s. There are also clear and undeniable influences of the Mexican style of wrestling as well, so the concept of it is of a Japanese and Mexican mixed background, but the actual techniques of King were more of a grappling and throwing based method. King was known for his flamboyant techniques when compared to the other fictional wrestling characters of various media at the time, as his throws, grabs, and holds were considered visually to be groundbreaking on a first for video game based depictions of any sort of wrestling technique, especially in the early games of Tekken, due to the realization that American style wrestling techniques, as shown unknown from modern media, these quote unquote techniques aren't necessarily attacks, nor are they maneuvers that can be done solely by an attacker, as some of them require effort to perform from both people involved with the attack. In a more realistic point of view, where King's attacks could be performed on his own upon an opponent, a basic knee bash could and would result in a varying form of physical damage inflicted upon an individual, depending on which part of the face is hit, as well as the severity of the impact part of the body is hit. In the older Tekken games, the Tombstone Piledriver was an iconic American maneuver, but done in the original ways without safety precautions for the person being attacked would have had them flipped and literally dropped full force upon their head for impact. The Cobra Clutch on sleeper holds are chokes, which are meant to have the person who is being choked to become unconscious due to lack of blood into and out of the brain, and as a result later get brain damage due to the lack of oxygen, and eventually death depending on how long the hold remains upon the said person. The giant swing, depending on how fast the opponent is swung, might cause them to become unconscious due to the movement of speed and loss of blood from the brain, as well as the toss and throw upon the ground due to the impact caused by the speed and sudden stop from the swing. The Mexican link combo was also considered to be that of King's ultimate move, and his most powerful arguably. In older versions of the Tekken games, if the player was able to perform the button commands, it was an unblockable and almost always lethal attack. In modern Tekken games, the Mexican throw combo can be interrupted depending on the circumstances during the throw, as to perform the throws repeatedly on one after another upon an opponent in a real-life based scenario would be possible, but only by an individual who was in optimal physical condition. But it could also be argued that the Mexican throw combo could not be done multiple times due to the physical exertion upon the person using the throws on an opponent. There are other holds or maneuvers by King, but they vary depending on the chance of them being realistically performed, as well as the ease of executing the maneuver upon an opponent. Especially in modern Tekken games, the style of King's wrestling has somewhat moved to a mixed martial art based concept, despite the iconic Japanese and Mexican mixed origins. Due to popular consensus in modern society of the melding and crossing of attacks, it's somewhat impossible not to think of King's style having aspects of different forms of fighting, due to the melded aspects of the origins of King's entire premise as a character. It also goes with the interpretation of the person playing as the character of King, or even popular opinions of King's fighting style in modern times.